Hey, it's Mel. We have a quick update on two things. One, there's a new free uncut episode of the podcast on Patreon. 2 times a year, we put a free uncut episode on the Cinematic Doctrine Patreon so that anyone who follows us there for free can get a free trial, so to speak, of what it's like to join one of the paid tiers. There are now 7 free uncut episodes you can listen to on the Cinematic Doctrine Patreon, so check them out and see what you get when you join any tier on Patreon. Check the link in the show notes for that. The second thing is, we're updating how the Cinematic Doctrine Patreon works. Now, if you follow the Cinematic Doctrine Patreon for free, you'll be able to submit movies for us to discuss in the podcast. Simply follow the Cinematic Doctrine Patreon, and you'll be able to comment as many movies as you want us to cover. However, when the 2 most popular submissions are put up to vote, only paid subscribers will have access to the vote. So if you want to have your favorite movie talked about on the podcast, give us a follow on Patreon for free and submit a few ideas. And if you really want to make a difference, consider joining our Patreon for $3 a month and guarantee your vote. Again, 2 free things if you just follow us on Patreon. Check that link in the show notes. Follow the Cinematic Doctrine Patreon for free. It's totally worth it. You're listening to Cinematic Doctrine.
Hey, if you just press play, you're missing out on a 33-minute discussion. I put together this, and that discussion is exclusive for Patreon supporters. When you go to patreon.com/Cinematic Doctrine, you support for $3 a month. You gain access to a bunch of extra stuff. But this episode, you will get a 33-minute kind of like pseudo history lesson, kind of like of urban legends of the United States about cryptids, because obviously we're going to be talking about Frogman in a bit, which is a cryptid from Loveland. Here, though, I present 3 cryptids to my 2 co-hosts here, Cheryl and Kat. I give a description of what they look like. We get what they do. We get if there's evidence or not. We get some history, and then we decide. We have a verdict. We decide, do we believe? And we make a case for why or why not. That discussion, I think, is pretty... when I was prepping it, I thought this will be fun because whoever's listening gets to then, again, participate, as I really enjoy doing. They get to participate. They get to decide also if they believe or not. Maybe they'll get curious and look things up as well independently. So if you're a fan of cryptids and you like Frogman, you're probably going to be a fan of that discussion. So go to patreon.com/Cinematic Doctrine and join for $3. You'll gain access to that discussion immediately. You can press play on this episode, and it's going to start on that discussion right away. You can do that with a bunch of other episodes. It's always at the start. Anyways, you didn't press play to hear me pitch to you Patreon. You press play because you want to hear a party pleaser episode on Frogman. Frogman is a 2023 found footage movie from Anthony Cousins, and we're going to be doing a party pleaser episode on it. Essentially, what that means is I am going to do a summary of the whole film from start to finish. Not every detail, but the broad points. And instead of just doing a normal movie discussion, what this lets us do is, as we're kind of explaining the film front to back, all 3 of us can kind of just jump in to talk about certain scenes, make comments on certain moments, maybe share some insights, stuff like that. And then at the end of this summary, when we finish the movie, we're all going to answer, is this movie a party pleaser or is this movie a party pooper for any reason? And then, yeah, that's the episode. But I'm joined by Kat and Cheryl. What is going on, guys? What's up, Cheryl?
Nothing much. I'm just sitting in my really dark room because I don't have a lamp set up yet.
Wow.
It's just getting darker by the minute.
Frogman's going to get you.
Yeah,
he really is. He's hanging out right behind me. You guys just can't see, and neither can I, but I'm pretty sure he's back there. Mm-hmm. I hear a ribbit every once in a while.
And Kat, what's up?
Well, I don't think I have to worry about any frogs over here. The worst I think we have is Milo. He has that little froggy meow from time to time.
Oh, it's so sweet. He's the best. He's a little honker.
Does he still drool all the time?
Oh, absolutely. More so than ever. It's really cute.
I miss it so much.
He's the best. So yeah, let's get into this. So the beginning of the movie, we start, it's August 7th, 1999. We're looking at camcorder footage of a family on vacation. We end up cutting to them inside of their cars. They're driving around and the parents are arguing. So they're lost on the freeway. So they pull over. Kids get out of the car. This is Dallas, our main character, and his sister. And Dallas is the one with the camera. He's filming. His sister, though, points out that there's something in the woods, and he turns the camera over, and we see this strange bipedal amphibious creature. Could this be a frogman? Anyways, we do a hard cut, and it turns out this was all a tape being shown on a podcast discussion called Monster Soup. So first we learn about the frogman, that he's from Loveland, Ohio. We learn that he likes to hang out in the woods. We learn that he has a magic wand, so maybe he's an alien. Maybe he's a river monster, who knows? And we also learned that he is really popularized in his first appearance, so to speak, in 1975. Also, he may have psychic influences.
Oh, no. I just want to jump in. And do you guys associate wands with aliens? Why not wizards? Like, I thought about that when I was like, he has a wand, so he must be an alien. Like,
I thought of it as like a technological kind of thing. Like
his
I'm
sonic
thinking
screwdriver.
Yeah. Sonic screwdriver is good.
It just seemed very strange. Just like, I guess he could have used. I don't know. There's got to be another word.
Well, what's it? The term? There's like techno magic or something like that. Electra magic. Maybe. It's like a sci-fi term, but that's kind of what Technomancer. Yeah, like that kind of stuff. But then it's also it's still this amphibious-looking thing.
Yeah.
The question I had though was Frogman. Did we have any familiarity with this? I mean,
no.
When the movie starts and it has this admittedly quite clever introduction. And it starts listing off all these things like a wand and psychic powers. I was like, wait, what am I getting into with this movie? So I didn't know anything about Frogman going into it. So that was all pretty fun. But what about you guys?
No, I had no idea.
I literally feel like I just knew he was a frog that was a man. Maybe somewhere down the line I heard about the supposed magical powers. But it totally memory hold for me until I watched the movie.
And it all sounds like strange until it's like, oh, it's like a hag. Like it's like a woodland hag or
a wizard frog.
I forget. There's like another term for like that kind of like
a crone.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm thinking of it as like a swamp-mermaid sort of situation. Like mermaids are kind of like magical. So like, wouldn't it make sense if there was like some sort of swamp version of that where unfortunately you're a frog?
You're a frog. Yeah. You're swamp
Get frogged.
You got all these warts and stuff.
Is Frogman an actual cryptid in Ohio?
Oh, yes. Frogman is legitimate.
I had no idea. I know nothing. I know Sasquatch.
Going on a little forward with that podcast, returning to his description of the Frogman, he shows off that footage. He then goes, I'm calling BS. I don't think this footage from 1999 is very convincing. He goes, Dallas is now in his 30s and he has a degree in directing and he shot some short films. So why couldn't his 1999 footage of the Frogman just be child's play and curiosity? We then cut to Dallas, who is watching this podcast, and he's very angry. And he declares, fine, I'm going to find the Frogman. And so begins our movie. Good tone setter. I really like that it kind of like, it has its attempt, quote unquote. It has its, let's set up that it's sort of a spooky movie, but then it's not taken seriously. I like it. So he decides he's going to go through his stuff and then pack it all up. And he finds his old cameras, his old Hi8 videos as well. And he decides, I'm just going to find irrefutable proof of the Frogman. So he goes to meet up with one of his friends at work, his friend Scotty. And Scotty's immediately like, no, this is a dumb idea. Also, I'm busy. And he's like, with what? And he's like, well, Amy's got a party tonight and it's a going away party, which catches Dallas off guard. So it turns out Dallas has a history with Amy and was unaware that Amy was leaving. So the gang goes to this party. Dallas, who was not invited, now party crashing. I like how this movie kind of veers into I would almost say post 2000s tried and true, which is just, if it's found footage, go to a party, because then you have your characters just meet everybody and kind of talk to each other. Cloverfield did that, and then the Cloverfield movie takes place, and so I kind of liked how that kind of was done here.
It reminded me of Butterfly Kisses, where it's kind of like the interview montage where they're interviewing all the people from town to kind of get to know more about the creature.
Oh yeah. There's definitely a scene like
there
that.
There are lots of great framing devices that are just kind of like true to the genre. So I think this one using, like you said, kind of the Cloverfield method of like, okay, here are all of our characters that are going to matter. Like, it's the easiest way to get people to meet each other.
Yeah, and mentioning the framing devices is good too, because we've already had like 3 by this point, 4 once they get to the party. That's like the 4th setting and environment. So visually, it's consistently appealing to look at because you're always looking at something new, and that's pretty consistent throughout the rest of the movie. So you can, while you're listening, you can presume you're just in a new setting every time. But yeah, so we get to this party, and Dallas and Amy, they see each other, and it's kind of awkward. They talk. And she just very flat out goes, "You've been avoiding me," which I think is funny. It teaches us a lot about their relationship and the kind of woman Amy is. Amy is this actor who just got signed by an agent in LA. Dallas says, "Well, you should just be in my movies." And she goes, "What movies?" And he goes, "Well, I'm doing a movie on the Frogman," which is when Scotty shows up. And the 3 of them actually just decide, well, before Amy goes to LA, why don't we just do this Frogman movie? So they do. Whole gang is together. They get in this car. They start their epic adventure and they drive off to Loveland, Ohio. We see Dallas kind of coming out of his shell a little because it's very clear that even though he's a schlub, he's also like a lovable schlub.
Schlubbable.
Yeah, schlubbable.
A man who, instead of signing up for therapy, decides to go find the Frogman.
We love it, folks. So they basically make this plan. We're going to interview peeps in Loveland to learn about the Frogman, and we're going to find George Hale, who is the man who first took a photo of the Frogman in the 70s. Scotty's fallen asleep, but the camera's still rolling, and it's in the middle of the night, so Dallas talks about his breakup. We learn that the reason Dallas and his previous girlfriend broke up is because when Dallas shared with that girlfriend that he had hooked up with Amy, kind of as like a friends with benefits thing, like they weren't together kind of thing, that girlfriend was not about it and broke up with him then and there. Basically, Amy's like, well, it was a mistake anyway, right? And then he's just like, right, like you said, mistake. And of course, we know what the movie's doing. And it knows, it's not hiding anything. But I do like the fitting music choice here. I think the diegetic work is neat. What do we think about our characters by this point? Kat?
I remember Scotty being like so annoying. You haven't really mentioned much about it, but I just remember him being so annoying. Like the romance stuff with Amy and Scott is fine.
Amy and Dallas.
Or Amy and Dallas is fine. But Scott, no thank you.
Yeah, I've brushed off. So like something I've kind of learned over time doing these types of episodes is mentioning jokes or quips doesn't really translate. So I just kind of skip them most of the time. Some of them I'll keep. But yeah, Scotty's full of it. So, like, I'm just going to brush over that. Like, I did not find him as grating as you did, but I actually enjoy it. This is my second time watching the movie, and I enjoyed him more this time than the first time. But I think I remember that first time we watched, it was, like, a little tough. What about you, Cheryl? What do you think of our three characters as they talk?
At the beginning, I cannot stand the friends. I feel more for Dallas, because he's like, I saw this thing, and I want to prove it so everyone knows that it's real, and his friends are just, and like
it's a horror movie, so we know like it probably is real, so we're totally on his side.
But his friends are buttheads.
They're pretty annoying.
They're playing at being supportive, and like the whole time when they're doing the whole, because I think just prior to the scene you described of them having their intimate conversation while Scotty is sleeping, she's like, how do you want me to play my character? Do I be like, what's her, Norma Jean from Tennessee? And I'm
Norma
like,
Jean, right?
No, you guys are taking this over. Like, I was so irritated. Right? Like, it was like the fun scenes and all that kind of stuff, but like I was just annoyed that they were not being so like good friends at all. Like they were just kind of going along because they thought it was just going to be something fun, but like they're not seeing their friend who is like really wanting to take this. Like they're just not good friends. So at the very beginning, I do not like them at this point. They drive me insane and I could care less about them.
Yeah, you kind of get this feeling that like the movie's going to be a funny movie, but Dallas is going to be a very self-serious person. So when Amy and Scotty are going on this road trip, treating it like a friend's final hurrah road trip. They're goofing off, but we're primed to be in the corner of Dallas. So we kind of want them to be a little more serious. But overhead view, it's like, no, they're kind of being normal. Like Dallas is the one that's trying to be abnormal.
I think there should be a mix of both, though. Like I feel like he's allowed to be like he started this. Of course, he then asks asks these people, so he should know. But I feel like if it's his thing, they need to be respectful of that and like maybe talk a bit more about like what the goal is, and then there can still be like the lighthearted fun and like goofy aspect to it. They can still try to find some sort of character for her to be, and they can still make it like a serious thing. It just, there was none of that going on, and that I think is what irritated me the most, is that like they're supposed to be his friends and like close friends, and they're not noticing how it's affecting him. But he's also not speaking. Like he's not doing what he can to like really speak up either.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, there's also the context of Amy has this big acting break. Yes. And Dallas has been trying to be a director for a while now and is like striking out. So there's almost like this kind of, to me, it makes me more sympathetic to Dallas that like his friends aren't taking this seriously when things are obviously not working out for Dallas because he's been living in his sister's basement for the past 3 years.
Hey, don't forget, there's a lot of fun content missing from this episode because you're not listening on Patreon. Head over to patreon.com/cinematic doctrine and support for $3 a month to gain access to uncut episodes with upwards of 40 minutes of bonus content each. You'll thank me later.
Kind of going forward, we get some of Amy doing exactly that, which is saying, I want to be Norma Jean Ray. I'm going to search for the Frogman. I'll be a whole character when I do interviews. We then have Dallas start to kick off some of these interviews. One of them, I think one of the quotes from the interview, I think people are either a frog person or a rat person. So let's go around. Do we think we're a frog person or a rat person? Kathryn!
Really, you could have just asked me, are you a scaly or a furry? But that's
all right. Which one?
Yeah.
I mean, rats are real cute, but also, well, I don't want to be a rat person, but rats are cuter than frogs. So I guess that makes me a rat person. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I'm a frog person. Although I do like rats, and I feel like you and me being a frog and a rat kind of works together anyway.
That is cute.
What about you, Cheryl? Frog or rat person?
I'm kind of on the side of cat, too. I think more rat. It's one of those, I feel like this is a question that we should be asking, like, Melvin, do you think I'm a frog or a rat person? Like, I feel like it's more that, because I want to say I'm a rat, but am I actually a frog? Am I neither? Am I a frog rat? Am I a frat? Or a frog?
So we move forward, and Dallas, they basically ask him like, so why are we doing this? And Dallas goes, to speak the truth, to inspire, to not give up, which I think is funny.
That's a little far. Yeah, that definitely takes him into the like super self-serious. Like he could have just been like, because I want to find the truth. And I would have been like, great.
So they end up arriving at the Bullfrog Bed and Breakfast. We end up learning a few things here. First, that Amy's going to go full character in front of strangers. So they go full Norma Jean Ray. And then we have Dallas, who learns about a place called Frogman Point, which is a place where Frogman can be seen better. Frogman helps keep me in business, is what she says too. So Frogman is very much this marketable, important icon. So whether or not he's real or not, who knows? But it's profitable. And then they also learn that the best time to see Frogman is at dusk. So they head on back. They head on upstairs for the night. They end up partying and hanging out, having a good time.
I was very irritated at this scene too, because how inconsiderate can you be at a bed and breakfast to be partying like this? Not cool. I was like, man, these friends suck. They're so inconsiderate.
My understanding is that they're like high suburban or city kids, like close to a city, because Amy's party seems like it's held at like a studio apartment. Them kind of partying at a bed and breakfast kind of tracks. Like,
oh no, it tracks. Yeah, it's just they're horrible people.
That's crazy. I didn't read it as horrible people.
Are we going to talk about how Norma Jean is like this caricature of like poor, unintelligent Southern woman stuff? And it's like, I'm like, you're in Ohio. You're not in the deep South. Like, wrong type of hillbilly. Sorry, I can speak to it.
Silly. But during all this, Dallas at one point steps out to go to the bathroom. Scotty then checks to make sure there's some privacy, and he reveals that he was actually awake during that conversation in the car.
Sneaky Scotty.
And he heard their chat from the previous night about how they hooked up and everything. And Amy responds, well, we said it was a mistake. And he goes, oof, that is not what he told me. And she goes, what? But that's right when Dallas walks in the room. So that's that. And we move on forward to the next day. We get some more interviews, which are pretty fun. Everyone believes in Frogman, is what one person says. Frogman can read minds. Dallas asks someone, tell us about Frogman's cult following, and another person responds, I'm not in a cult. Which is
I'm a religious man. I'm a God-fearing man. I'm not in a cult.
The one person goes, I'm a good swimmer, and so are Frogmen. Another one goes, there's a lot of tunnels underground. Then there's, he's got a magic wand. Do you think that's how he impregnates people? Which is crazy. They're just doing street interviews, and this guy's just talking about nonsense.
I think that's the first time that's mentioned too. And when I heard it, I was like, I was
it's
just
like, so
calling on my phone. And I looked up, and I was just like, wait,
it's
what?
so out of pocket. Yeah, and then someone goes, he's known to take a maiden or two. He's known? Like...
Frogman gets around.
Yeah, it's crazy. This whole section, when we were watching it, Kat and I, it like locked in for me that like, oh, this is like I'm aware of the found footage craze and the joy that I find in it, and I'm willing to endure not very good found footage just to watch found footage sometimes. But this locked in like, oh, okay, like we're watching a competent movie, because all I saw was like an Instagram video, and then decided, yeah, let's just watch it. It sounds fun. Kat will probably enjoy it too. But yeah, this interview section to me was like, oh, this was ton of fun. We learned about a Frogman novelty store. This is after the interview. The
Sticky Tongue
novelty store.
I think it's called the Sticky Tongue.
They meet a guy named Woody. He's a self-called Frogman expert. He sells authentic. He has on display an authentic Frogman footprint. He also says he has an authentic Frogman flute, which can be used to summon the Frogman, which gets Dallas kind of curious. Anyway, so our characters then decide, let's head on over to Frogman Point.
Something I want to mention before we kind of like go into the next piece is something that was so disappointing for me to find out about this movie, because the city is like so populated. The novelty store is so believable. The bread and breakfast is so believable. None of these places are actually real in Loveland.
No. Oh, really?
It was all set up for the movie.
I was so didn't they shoot in Loveland though?
They shot in Loveland, but like all of it was production stuff. But even to the point where it's like, oh, they want to go to Frogman Point. All of this is kind of riffing on Point Pleasant, which is where Mothman is. The entire town of Point Pleasant is like Loveland is in this film.
That's cute.
Oh, that is so precious.
The gang finally parks and they walk up to Frogman Point. It's getting pretty dark, so Scotty uses the cam light and night vision. They arrive at Frogman Point, and Amy thinks she sees Frogman, and then something moves. Dallas takes the cam from Scotty, and he runs to catch footage of Frogman. He tackles him, but it's just a man in a costume. It's my job, says Woody. I dress up and scare people. It brings in tourists. Dallas is mad, so he takes the Frogman mask and throws it into the woods and leaves.
And how am I supposed to get it? It's up in a tree.
A pretty good little moment. So we head back to the Bullfrog Bed and Breakfast. Dallas confronts the concierge of the bed and breakfast, and he wants answers about the real Frogman. She then looks angry at because of his attitude and says, turn that thing off to the camera and leave while you still can. What does that mean? Dallas, though, frustratingly says to the guys that they're going to first go see George Hale, the man who took the photo in the 70s, and then they're going to leave because maybe he has answers before they go. So they arrive at George's last residence. It's dilapidated. There's a lot of keep out signs everywhere. It's still pretty dark. It seems like it's the same night. George is home, but he's a bit curmudgeonly, lets them in. George recounts the night that he encountered Frogman in the 70s, took the photo. Dallas asks about there being Frogman worshippers. So again, he's asking about this cult. And George responds, "Who told you that?" And then he goes, whatever. None of it's going to matter after tonight anyway, which is an ominous thing to say. And then he says, "Wait here." George then gives Dallas a map and he says, "This will lead you to Frogman. Now get out of my house." And so then Dallas pretty much locks into the gang like, all right, we're going to follow this map. And if something happens, cool. If not, then we leave. The gang then heads into the woods and follows the map. It's the middle of the night. Dallas finds a print of sorts. It's the side of a tree that has green slimy ooze. It's about shoulder height, and Scotty actually accidentally trips and touches it, which is gross.
Yeah, nasty.
Yeah, some Ghostbuster slime.
Yeah, basically, yeah. The ectoplasmic residue. The gang sets up camp. Amy then decides they're going to head out and search for some firewood. During this time, Dallas pulls out a Frogman flute and he plays it, and a bunch of frogs and toads croak.
Ooh.
Dallas gets Scotty, and he shares that the Frogman footprints appeared nearby. The two then go to find Amy, but find slime on their tent, and they don't know where Amy is.
They miss Amy for an hour.
Yeah, they
not
find
go
her.
Look for your friend. Like, even I'm like, where's Amy? She went for fire. It does not take this long to get firewood. Why aren't you more concerned? How long has Amy been gone? An hour? What?
Yeah, I didn't write it down, but I think it's like, doesn't Scotty, he's like taking a nap or like resting a bit.
He goes to take a nap or something, and then Dallas goes to like play the flute, and I'm like, I think
they're all just doing their own thing, but an hour is pretty long.
She should be back in like 5 minutes. Not that I've collected firewood before, but I feel like, yeah.
It wasn't raining, so there would be dry leaves to get.
Oh, no.
But yeah, they end up finding Amy, and she's standing up still. She seems catatonic. And then when she finally flares up, she becomes lucid, and all she remembers is leaving to get firewood and someone calling her name, but inside her head. Amy, you left to get firewood over an hour ago.
What? No, it was just a few minutes.
And then they hear a strange croaking. It's him! The camcorder starts getting glitchy. Telekinetic powers. He's trying to get in our heads. It's just
a real line.
A real line. I love it. Scotty catches footage of some bulbous appendages moving from behind a tree. They chase. Surprise! A frogman appears behind Amy. She screams and they run. Running through the woods, we follow Scotty's POV. They have 2 cameras. So we're following Scotty's POV, and he dodges 1, 2, maybe 3 frogmen. Yes, there's multiple. He finds a ditch and he drops into it to hide. But after a period of time, this red, loose, thick fluid drops onto his head. And also what looks like to be a carcass of something.
It was disgusting.
He gets up and runs, and the frogman was just above him. But then he ends up tripping, and the camera flies ahead of them. We see him back away from something until this amphibious leg steps towards him, and he screams. We then cut to Amy's POV. Scotty catches up with them. You okay? We'll catch up later. Get in the car. So then they shut the doors. But on the sunroof is Frogman. Ah! So then they reverse and Frogman falls off and they drive away. Scotty, are you okay? Scotty, I gotta see that footage. So Dallas checks it out. We come back to the car and it's calm. Dallas chuckles and he goes, we got it. Yeah, we got it. And they all start cheering in disbelief. They're all laughing because it's so absurd. But they're also very tired.
I have started to like the friends at this point because they're going through some stuff.
yeah.
And they're acting, when I say they're acting normal, they're acting how people who would be terrified of something would act, therefore.
Of the Frogman.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dallas is like, we did it. We got the footage. Never once is he like, are you okay? Why are you covered in goo? Are you, Scotty?
He asks if they're good.
But it's less than sincere, in my opinion, because he's
still
so
focused on the mission. Yeah.
And this is when I start to dislike Dallas and I start to like the friends because they didn't sign up for this. They didn't. I mean, we obviously all knew they inadvertently signed up for this, but like they really had no idea. And I guess Dallas didn't either. But this is where I have started to shift to like, I'm on the friends side and I'm a little less on Dallas' side.
Yeah, Kat, how did you step away from this first official unveiling of the Frogman?
I think I was just so hyped to finally see like special effects in action.
Yeah.
Everything from like here on out, I feel like it was less for me about the characters and more about, okay, what cool things happening next.
Anticipation.
Like the Michael Bay part of my brain turned on, like where you don't have to think about a film, you just think about how cool the film is going to be.
I remember that first time watching it kind of feeling like when they go to George Hale's place, like just kind of wanting the movie to do something, like a little more. And this movie is only 81 minutes. It is short. That essentially means it's probably about 75 or 76 minutes, but its credits are also very short too. So 81 is probably still very representative of it. So it's nice that by this point, like once we're at this campsite, that's when like the stuff starts really happening. And it's all very fun. And I mentioned earlier, there's the high 8 camera and then the camcorder. We get like a mix of different video recordings. We get the high 8, we get the camcorder, we get phone footage. It's clever is really what I'm kind of getting at. So I like all that.
Hey y'all, it's Frank here. Are you looking for a podcast that feels like chatting about geek culture with your friends? Check out Geek Freaks. We cover the latest in movies, gaming, comics, TV, and all the big stories you want to gossip about anyways. We have honest reactions, fun discussions, and interviews with creators across the industry. One key point about Geek Freaks and everything in our network is we will never harsh you for being a fan of something. There are too many other podcasters that want more listens and more clicks, and they'll do that by making you feel bad. We won't do that. So, whether you want breaking news, deep dives, or just to hang out with people who are generally positive about geekdom, come check out Geek Freaks. We'd love to have you. You can find Geek Freaks wherever you listen to podcasts, or just simply Google Geek Freaks. You'll find us. All right, have yourself a great week.
So yeah, the gang ends up returning back to the Bullfrog B&B. The gang enter the B&B, but they can't find the woman who runs it, which is strange. It seems like she's always there. And as Dallas and Amy are looking, Scotty heads to the bathroom with the camera. Scotty films himself in the mirror. He isn't just covered in dirt and foliage, but there's also something else. There seems to be these pustules and irritations on his hand. Some of them are even appearing on his face. He ends up throwing up. He ends up returning back to the gang, and it turns out that Dallas and Amy had heard something, but they weren't sure where. Dallas starts investigating the sound. It sounds like chanting. Is it from the fireplace? Meanwhile, Scotty, who still has the camera, starts to notice there's a fly in the room, and so he starts filming the fly.
I thought that was a very clever, subtle, just kind of thing to do, and then got right back to it.
Yeah, so he starts filming that other than Dallas and Amy. But then Dallas, we overhear, goes, I think the chanting's coming from the caves. And then Amy is ready to leave, but Dallas finds a wall that seems fake. He fiddles with it, and then it finally opens. I am not going in there, Amy says, which I really appreciate.
Go home, girl.
Seriously, get an Uber.
They go behind the door, and it's almost like this bunker-like service tunnel. Their chanting continues as they walk forward. There's a woman screaming, but the chanting gets louder. She goes catatonic. She's still awake, but still. Wait a minute. Is that the woman who owns the bed and breakfast? Is she leading the procession of some kind? And she then says, I am honored to unite our father with the beautiful bride he has chosen. In holy matrimony, may their union birth healthy pollywags. Which is
pollywags, I missed that line.
So absurd. So it's finally starting to settle in. We're like, oh no, she's like a druid leader, master thing.
Oh man, I liked Granny.
Still hidden, the two watch as the frogman steps out from this cave side, and the cult members bow as its tongue unspools to approach the girl. But then a gunshot is heard. It's George Hale. He's snuck in with a gun. He's shot at Frogman's tongue. During this high alert moment, the cultists notice Dallas and Scotty, and they yell intruders, so Dallas and Scotty run away. So we're stuck in the caves. Our characters, they're trying to escape from this cult, but they run into Amy. She says she came in because she heard screams. They end up in a weird chamber with these huge green sacks on the ground. Something is in this one, Dallas says, and he goes to open it up, and a human hand slips out. So they end up tearing it open, and this young woman comes falling out of the egg sack. It looks to be George's granddaughter, and she looks pregnant. And she wakes up and she's screaming in pain, and the camera looks down and they see something emerge from inside of her. Scotty then drops the camera and he starts wheezing, and we see this newborn creature drop in front of the camera on the ground. It's a grotesque large tadpole that's just flipping and flopping. It's so wild. So Dallas picks up the camera and we get a shot of Scotty. His face is changing and he's starting to get misshapen. Scotty then runs off into the cave alone. Dallas and Amy then run away. They're hiding, and he decides he's going to confess the truth to Amy because he doesn't know the next time he's going to be able to. And he shares with Amy that one night it wasn't a mistake. It meant something to me. And Amy seems happy to hear it, but then the two of them fall under the psychic call of Frogman. We get this really trippy scene that's pretty dang cool.
Yeah, this was neat.
There's a flash shot of Frogman with his wand that I really liked, and it was very funny.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's exactly what you're picturing in your head. It's just so fun.
It's a wand.
It's literally, yep. So Dallas and the camera see through this vision, and they find Amy in it. And in doing so, they wake up, and he breaks out the vision. Now that they're broken free, he can see that Frogman is dragging Amy away by its tongue. It's wrapped around her. So then, since the wand is on the ground and the Frogman is distracted, Dallas grabs it, picks it up, and he waves it at the Frogman. Sparks fly, and Frogman freaks out and runs away, and his tongue is retracted. So they're safe for now. Amy and Dallas, they get up to run away. I mean, we're pretty much at the end, so I'll just do this real quick, and then we can talk about what we think. So it's, Amy and Dallas, they run into George. They've escaped. George says he needs to go back to save his granddaughter. Amy, though, she breaks down and cries. She's totally freaked out, overwhelmed. I kind of thought it was a little extra, not because, like, you wouldn't freak out over that, but I didn't feel like she was coded to react that way, both prior to this moment and during the moment, but whatever. And then we get our resolution. The police don't take the footage seriously. Scotty is a missing person. George and his granddaughter haven't been seen since. Amy and Dallas haven't spoken in a year. And then we get a prose change. We're not found footage anymore. We're now like a omniscient camera. And the movie that we just watched is also a movie in the world. And Dallas' movie had screened at a festival. It had done really well. And so now he's about to get on stage to do a presentation. We see that he brandishes the wand, and that's the end of the movie. Let's first talk about the movie, and then we'll get into Party Pleaser, Party Pooper, because I realized there wasn't a lot of moments to jump off of there towards the end, and it basically just turned into a audio tape book like kind of description. So, Cheryl, first time watching Frogman, what do you think?
I really liked it. I don't think I've seen a lot of found footage. I've obviously Blair Witch that we recorded many moons ago.
A year or two, yeah.
And I liked it. I liked it a lot. I actually thought, like you were saying earlier when you watched it and like the interviews and all that kind of stuff, I don't know where it hit for me, but like it was very competent. Like it felt cleaner than even Blair Witch to me. Like competent acting, with decent script, with a couple odd lines. But I feel like when it comes to found footage, you got to have some of those weird lines in there to make it feel a little bit more realistic. I mean, as much as I say I didn't like the friends at the beginning, and then I liked them, and then I didn't like Dallas and all that, I like having those strong feelings when I watch something if it's very purposeful. And I felt like throughout the movie it was very purposeful to have the friends be a little bit more overbearing, and they're like, this is just really fun, let's enjoy ourselves, let's goof off a little bit. And then Dallas is like, no, I need to take this seriously. I disagree a little bit with your statement on Amy and her reaction at the end. I coded, maybe, I don't know, but I think it's very, like, I mean, she went through some pretty crazy, like she, especially probably because she was a woman, getting the voice in the head and the catatonic in the forest, and then trying to be taken away by Frogman to probably be impregnated by this wand. Who knows? However it works. I'm not surprised she broke down. Just like that kind of stuff in real life just happens differently to people. And so I think there's that. This is where I actually really disliked Dallas, because he's just like, we did it. We got the proof. And I'm like, dude, open your eyes. She's literally falling apart in front of you. All right, can you ask her if she's okay? I mean, she's clearly not, but like, can you comfort her? Can you put your ego of being right aside to like, because also your friend just disappeared. Like, your friend transformed into something and was like gone. And this girl's breaking down, who you just admitted you're in love with. That didn't sit very well with me. However, I feel like that, and you guys might have to correct me, depending on the type of found footage, I guess, genre or plot or whatever. When it's a found footage about trying to prove something, like a cryptid or like the Blair Witch or something like that, it feels like the person who's trying to prove it is very much in their head. They have a high ego. They want to like prove themselves right. They want to prove it to the world. And then they have these friends who are like not quite on board, but like kind of supportive. And then they become very much on board because they go through it. And by the end, they're traumatized. Like, yeah, we get it. It's real. We've been through it. We were touched by it. We were almost eaten by it. We were killed by it, whatever. And then the person who is trying to prove it is just still so focused on like, well, we got the proof. We can show it to the world, and like not totally caring about what happens. That's the vibe I was getting with it. And like, again, I don't necessarily hate that, but I wonder if that's typical for something like this. Like I
would say it's like fairly common to the genre. Like even really, really great found footage like Ganjiam is all about like one person being really focused on making this project like really great, and everybody else is kind of like at the disposal for it to happen.
Yes.
And I think that there's like some flexibility in how found footage like presents those sort of character dynamics, but it's really consistent. Like, I was trying.
I mean, Butterfly Kisses we just recently watched, but that's very overtly about that.
But Butterfly Kisses, the character, as soon as we were watching it with friends, as soon as the main character, the like documentarian that's really like convinced about it, shows up on screen, I'm like, that is the scariest thing that you're going to see in this entire film. Is this man and like how bad of a husband he is?
Yeah. So I think it's inherent to the genre that good found footage is aware of what is being played with by telling the story through the camera. Like, obviously that's how all movies are, but all movies are, the camera technically doesn't exist in the world, but in found footage the camera does exist in that world.
It's its own character in a way.
Some of them have real difficulty figuring out reasons to keep filming, but having the director of it be so tenacious that they're willing to sacrifice life and limb is a good reason. And so that's pretty common to see in found footage. And this one continues with it, which is why I feel like when it comes to its ending, it makes sense. Like, it gets to this point where I think it doesn't all work perfectly like the way I think it should, where like, I think Amy could have been written to react a little different, yet still end the same place, which is they don't talk for a year and she is very upset with him because it is all his fault. Like he is in over his head. He always has been. Like, that's the problem before, and that's the problem at the end. It's a story of self-destruction, and his friends are taken down with him. Yeah, so it's just that is normal. That is pretty consistent, and good found footage is in conversation with it and finds ways to make it fun, because like at the end of the day, it also still kind of has to be fun. It's like, there's Marvel movies, which are like theme park rides, and then there's found footage, which are absolutely theme park rides. Like, they are very much putting you into the camera and shaking you around a lot. And Frogman does that as well. Kat, what about you?
Yeah, I think, as I like to say, whether I like it or not, I've seen a lot of found footage. And I wonder why it can't have to do with like who I'm married to.
You're just locked into the Clockwork Orange chair. Your eyelids are pulled open.
I'm
putting eye drops in.
Kat, blink if you need help.
It's shaky Cam Sasquatch footage.
Yeah, awesome.
Gosh, no. I think that Frogman, first off, is incredibly charming because I love the concept of Frogman. I like that Dallas is so sold on like wanting to prove that the Frogman's real. I think that the movie has a great hook in like its opening sequence with the old 90s camcorder footage. I just found it really, really charming. Again, with just seeing as much found footage as I have seen, there are definitely some genre tropes here. I mean, Blair Witch, it's 3 friends go off into the woods.
Yeah.
This is 3 people go off into Loveland, Ohio. a lot of the like interviewing the townspeople and things like that are all very like beat for beat what you could expect from a film like this. But I do think that it's really competent in its camera work. I think it's creative with the special effects later on. And it was really nice for me to see a movie that's like kind of close to H.P. Lovecraft's Shadow over Innsmouth.
Shadow over Innsmouth. Yep.
Like it very much so borrows from that. So all of this like had enough boxes being checked for it that although it was found footage, I was like, oh, okay, this is up my alley. So I had a good time.
Yeah, I'm a fan of this one too. And obviously we'll do our Party Pleaser, Party Pooper in a second, but I'm a fan of this one. I'm excited to know that the sequel has done well. It premiered earlier this year. Still just waiting for it to be streamable.
There's a sequel?
Frogman Returns. The tagline's very funny. You should look it up. And I've heard good things that it does well. I like this one. I thought it was good the first time, and I'm closer to thinking it's great this time around just because I think it has, Kat's spot on in saying it's charming. The movie has so much to endear you to it, whether it's the self-awareness of it being a frog man, which is silly, the self-awareness of it not being Mothman. Like, I think it's very much aware of the fact that it's like Frogman is treated in the movie like budget Mothman. Like, that to me is all very fun. It's also a good found footage movie with decent enough characters to get you through it, to understand the relationships, to find them fun to be with. And then the script is good too, in terms of like scenes have different purposes with different emotions trying to be evoked. And some found footage really struggles with that because with it being such a low bar to entry, there is a lack of creativity embraced in it. And here, when Kat clocked that's like the framing devices are different, like, yeah, the framing devices are consistently different and fun. And so it's just a really well constructed feature. It feels like the kind of movie that would probably be like a direct to TV film from the 70s or 80s that is like of a higher quality than other films typically are nowadays that are direct to TV. And I say that as someone who likes some of those movies, like Somebody's Watching Me, like from John Carpenter. It's a direct to TV film. But yeah, so to kick it off, Party Pleaser, 100%. This is a ton of fun movie. There's so much to enjoy. There's a lot of laughs. There's good shocks. The special effects are great. The ending is like a blast. Like, that ending is really fun. Heading into caves, scary frog wedding and impregnation. That is so effed up. It's so crazy. And it's not as graphic as you think it is in your head. It's all the suggestion of like, it's so slimy and gross. So yeah, it just makes it a ton of fun. And so yeah, Party Pleaser, really great. I cannot wait to watch the sequel.
I agree. I think this is a party pleaser. I think this is actually, again, of the 3 found footage movies that I've ever watched in my life, I think this is a really good gateway into found footage. It's accessible. It's interesting. The acting is really good. The framing, the cinematography. It feels, and I don't want to say that found footage is not legitimate, but it obviously has a look because it's shaky cam. It's a lot of times done on either actual like VHS recorders or to make it look that way. So like I think for people who don't know and who are in that kind of lane, it feels illegitimate as a movie. But like this is a really good way to kind of set your foot into the genre if you're interested in it. Like, if I were to suggest someone to watch like between this and maybe Blair Witch, I'd say maybe start with Frogman and then watch Blair Witch, even if Blair Witch is really kind of like one of the originals, if not the original of the found footage genre. Like, I would almost suggest that. But I really like it. I think it would be I'm kind of bummed I didn't get to watch it with you guys all at the same time. I feel like it would have been really fun to watch. I could see this being an actually good party watching movie, not just how we're like, yeah, party pleaser, this is a great movie. Like, no, actually get your friends together, have frog themed drinks, get those chocolate Harry Potter frogs,
lick some toes,
slime,
get
make
high.
some slime.
I mean, I'm over here like, okay, tadpole tapioca, that's the snack.
Make some swamp water punch, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, drink responsibly, friends. Have some fun with it. Like, this, I think, is a very, very good movie. I think on my letterbox, I put it as a watched and a loved and a 5-star. Mm-hmm.
What about you, Kat?
Whoa.
I know.
Whoa.
I don't get those out.
Those are just kidding. I was about to say, those are some high accolades from Shirleon going on over there.
No, they're not. Every other movie is that.
I definitely, I agree. Like, party pleaser. It's a love letter to cryptids. It's one of the found footages that I would say is like better than average in a world where we keep getting Hell House LLC movies.
Oh man.
And we only ever get like a Ganjiam like once in a blue moon. To get a Frogman is a treat. Like,
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
So it's fun, it's exciting. Definitely, yeah, like you could have a whole frog party.
You may not know this, but the easiest way you can show your support for Cinematic Doctrine is to rate and review the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen. So press pause and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear what you have to say. And then press play again so you can hear the rest of the show.
So let's do recommendations and get out of here. So Cheryl.
So the found footage book is called Episode 13 by Greg DeLuey. I can't remember if this is actually something that I recommended or not, but I feel like I'm going to recommend it again because it's been so long and also fits with this found footage theme. It is written like you would be watching a found footage movie. So it's got like tape, date, time, all of that. And then like it's like written like dialogue, almost like a play, but it's not quite that. And then you get like the 5 different characters. I think there's 5 different characters. 4 different characters that kind of go through a paranormal research foundation, almost asylum-esque type house where some weird stuff went down. And they're doing it for a TV show called Fade to Black, which is a ghost hunting reality show. It's a husband and wife team, and then they have their crew. And the wife is a scientist whose whole gimmick in the TV show is to try to prove things scientifically. And they really believe that this one is going to be it. Bizarre experiments happened at this place in the 70s. They talk about a little bit about their past. They have a cameraman, the tech guy. He is the tech guy, the cameraman, a retired police officer who has seen some supernatural stuff. So he's there to like kind of help prove that. An actress who's just trying to make her big break. And then the husband who had a supernatural moment when he was a kid, and he's trying to like really to prove it in a little bit more of a sentimental way as opposed to the cop being a little bit more like gung-ho. And then the wife who's trying to kind of disprove everything in a way, but then also potentially prove maybe something. Gets into the drama between all the characters, the hijinks of the house, and it wasn't my favorite of the year, but it also wasn't bad. It was an interesting way to read a book as a found footage kind of way. And then it definitely kind of goes off the deep end. And I think it might be one I have to reread again to really appreciate it. It has been described, for people who are familiar with what Melvin likes to read, it has been described as a House of Leaves meets The Haunting of Hill House. So if you're into either of those books, you'll probably very much like this. So it's Episode 13 by Craig DeLuey.
So keeping in line with the cryptid sort of vibe going on here, I'm going to recommend the podcast, The Old Gods of Appalachia. It is a very prolific podcast. It's been going on since 2019. I would say even just go back to the beginning and start listening, because the production quality is very, very high for that podcast. The general structure tagline of it is a podcast that is telling fictionalized stories about things that have happened in Appalachia that are creepy, that are occult, that are kind of, if you're familiar with Welcome to Night Vale, it's very much so in that vein of fictionalization. Yeah, just start from the beginning. The beginning is the Barlow, Kentucky 1917 story. Essentially, it centers around Barlow, Kentucky whenever there is a collapse of a local coal mine, and what things they found in that coal mine, what things they wish they had left hidden in that coal mine, and what happened to the town because of the collapse. Don't want to spoil too much. It's very, very good. Highly recommend it.
I recommend Hawkum. This is Damien McCarthy's latest movie. I've previously recommended Caveat and Oddity. I liked Oddity more than Caveat. And Hawkum I kind of like as much as Oddity, maybe a little less. Premise is Adam Scott plays a character named Ohm Bauman, who is writing a novel. He's written several books, very successful. He's writing the last of his series, and he's kind of stuck. He ends up witnessing some sort of spectral thing at home, and it encourages him to take his parents' ashes and go to a place that they found very happy, which was this motel or hotel in Ireland. So he goes there, he buries the ashes, and he meets some of the local townspeople, and spooky things ensue. He plays a very interesting character who is very mean and very rude, and yet very interesting. At least I thought so. Kat was pretty middling about this movie, and could probably speak to that. But what's interesting with Damien McCarthy to me is he seems to be making movies that are like paperback paranormal murder mysteries, and they're less interested in the paranormal and more interested in how like the paranormal refuses to let evil persist among the living, and that the paranormal will always get justice where the living can't. It's very interesting how his stories consistently have a mix of noir and haunted house going on. They're like Conjuring movies, but for the thinking man. Like they're a lot more patient, but they're also quite silly. Like they have these things about them that are very strange, but fit the high concept ideas that he's running with. And Hawkum is no different. I liked it, and it may or may not get an episode in the future. Who knows? Really depends on timing and whether or not a week needs to be filled. But I think there's a lot to enjoy here. And at the very least, this one feels like his most fully realized. I felt Oddity felt a little extra small scale, and then Caveat obviously is very small scale. But this one feels a bit bigger in a way that I think broadens his talent. And I love the bookends of it. They're very strange, but when it starts, you'll know what I mean. Yeah, check out Hawkum. It's pretty good.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Cinematic Doctrine. If you enjoyed the episode, give us 5 stars on whatever podcast app you're using. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe, too. We put out stuff like all the time. If you're listening on YouTube, hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. It helps the algorithm share our stuff around, and I see them, so I usually reply. Also, if you support on Patreon, you could have totally heard this episode early. There's a bunch of other benefits to supporting on Patreon, so head on over to patreon.com/cinematic doctrine to learn more. Speaking of Patreon, thank you so much to our Art House Theater tier Patreon supporters. Thanks, Thomas, Shirleon, Mom, and Dad. Your support is greatly appreciated. Until next time, stay cool.
Sheriff, we got a lot to talk about.
Welcome to Twin Peaks. I'm your Twin Peaks veteran, Special Agent Matt Hanna.
And I'm your first-time viewer, Sheriff Hannah.
And each week, we're visiting David Lynch and Mark Frost's Twin Peaks on our new show, Welcome to Twin Peaks, a Twin Peaks rewatch podcast.
Entering the town of Twin Peaks.
We're talking dreams, damn fine coffee.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
Back we're talking mysteries.
And asking the important questions like, who really killed Laura Palmer? Are the owls what they seem? And why does this town feel like a nightmare you don't want to wake up from?
It is happening again.
Whether you're a longtime Twin Peaks resident or stepping into the Black Lodge for the very first time, Welcome to Twin Peaks is your guide through the woods.
What kind of fantastic trees have you got growing around here?
New episodes every week wherever you get podcasts.
And be sure to follow our socials at Welcome to Twin Peaks Podcast for schedules and opportunities to call and write into the show.
I'm gonna turn it upside down!
The mysteries are dense and the secrets are dark.
We'll see you in Twin Peaks with a fresh cup of coffee.